Am I the a-hole for how I responded when my husband asked me to pay for stepson's surgery? I've been with my husband for about 5 years now. He has a son from his previous marriage. Let's call him Ethan, who came to live with us when he was 16. From the very beginning, it was incredibly hard. Ethan was cold and distant with me. He made it very clear that he didn't like me and didn't want me around. In fact, he constantly made rude and hurtful comments, often mocking my age or making fun of my living situation. His remarks weren't just casual. They were mean-spirited and designed to hurt. No matter how much I tried to be kind or give him space, he never softened. It felt like he had made up his mind about me from day one and was determined to make sure I knew I wasn't welcome in his life. Even when his dad, my husband, was going through a rough financial patch, I tried to help out. One specific example was when I offered to help pay for Ethan's college expenses. It wasn't something I felt obligated to do, but rather something I wanted to do. I thought it might show that I cared and wanted to support them both. But when I brought it up, my hub said, "You can't buy your way into being his mom." That really stung. I wasn't trying to take anyone's place or force myself into a role I wasn't invited into. I just wanted to help. But after hearing that, I backed off. I respected their wishes and kept my distance, both emotionally and financially. Fast forward to now, Ethan's been sick for a few months. He was managing with medication for a while, but now his condition has gotten worse and he needs surgery. He reached out to my husband and asked if he could help cover the costs, since it's expensive and urgent. My husband then came to me and asked if I'd be willing to contribute. He framed it as a possible turning point, a chance to finally build a connection with Ethan, or at least start moving in that direction. I didn't hesitate. I simply said no. He seemed surprised and pushed back, saying that maybe this could be the perfect opportunity to start healing old wounds and set things right between Ethan and me. But I looked him in the eye and said, "I can't buy my way into being his mom, can I?" I repeated his own words back to him, and I meant them. He didn't react well. He said I was being petty and cruel for holding on to the past, especially when it involved Ethan's health. He told me that this was bigger than a grudge and that I should be the bigger person. He even went so far as to say he's now reconsidering our marriage because, in his view, I should put my feelings aside and help Ethan no matter what. But I still said no, not because I don't care, not because I want Ethan to suffer, but because I've tried before and I've been rejected, insulted, and made to feel like an outsider over and over again. I know how this looks to him, but from where I'm standing, it feels like I'm finally setting a boundary. And that shouldn't be a deal breaker in a marriage. Now for the top comments. So he wants your money but not your presence? And your husband thinks you're the petty one? Nah, he played himself. Keep your cash. I don't think he meant what he said. I think he's saying it to get me to pay, but I still refused. Someone needs to reconsider this marriage, my dear. It would be you. You're in an abusive relationship with someone who is mooching off of you. Sounds like you're shouldering all the financial responsibility while receiving none of the respect from these relationships. Stand your ground. I'd be reconsidering the marriage and serving papers before her husband, honestly. Dude and his kid are both a-holes. If you want to stay in a marriage, swallow your pride and pain and help. Not because it might make Ethan like you more, but because you'd be helping your husband's son and you care about your husband. But from what little you describe here, I'm not sure you should want to stay married. It doesn't sound like he respects you very much, and he's not contributing. Are you actually getting anything out of this relationship? OP and her husband don't seem to like each other very much. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my ex-husband's wife homeschool my children? I, 31 female, share 2 children, 9 male and 8 female, with my ex-husband Aaron, 35 male. Aaron's cheating ended our marriage, and before long he had moved in with Nicole, 34 female, and her children, 11, 10, 8, and 6. Aaron and Nicole have a 2-year-old together, and they're expecting another child. Even before Aaron and Nicole met, she homeschooled her children, while my kids attend public school. This was mentioned as a problem before they were even married, but I ignored it. Now this has come up again, and they are being a thorn in my side about it. Nicole said it is unfair for her children to see mine go to school while hers do not. She told me her kids have become jealous, and it's causing issues for her parenting and for her and Aaron's family. I told her this was not my problem and that she needed to figure out how to manage that. That is the life of blended families. Not everything will be the same or equal for the kids from different marriages. Aaron asked me to homeschool a few times, and I told him I would not entertain the idea. He even asked the kids, who were worried when they came to me about it. They didn't want to leave their friends and teachers, and they didn't want to stay home all day like Nicole's kids. I reassured them I would not be saying yes to homeschooling for them. Now Nicole and Aaron are on a mission to make me agree to let Nicole homeschool my kids alongside hers. Apparently, they have the 2-year-old started in some form of pre-K homeschooling, and they feel it's only fair for my kids to join in too. I said no. I even had my lawyer send their lawyer a letter officially stating my position on this. My lawyer has also documented everything. They asked their lawyer to take this back to court and get a judge to overrule me, but their lawyer told them this would not go in their favor. My ex was so unhappy about it that he told me all of this, and it gave me the chance to document that also. Now they're claiming I don't have a good reason to refuse other than to disrupt their home and to keep Nicole from playing a bigger role in the lives of my children and to prevent sibling bonding between Nicole's kids and mine. I told them I have many reasons to say no, and they just need to accept it. I stopped replying after this, but since school ended for the summer, I have been inundated with pressure from them over this. They are worried that I'll send them to school in September as planned, which will happen. I feel like the kids wanting to go to school should also count, and I told Aaron this before. But am I the a-hole for not being willing to try? Is it really so hard to believe I just want my kids to attend school normally? And if her kids are jealous of the step-siblings going to school, I think there's a simple solution there. Send them all to school. Her kids being jealous of their step-sibs going to school made me laugh. I'd ask Nicole, why are they jealous? Doesn't say much for your homeschooling, does it? I agree with those who say it's all about control. I would also bring out the big legal guns, so not the a-hole. Absolutely not the a-hole. No thanks, Ron. I'm going to continue to trust the professionals over your current wife. Her comfort is not my concern. This OP. Honestly, I would go back to court to have in writing that school stays the same and they need to drop it. Or you'll be requesting more parenting time for the kids' mental health, not to be disturbed by the stress this is causing them. Agreed. You also need to have the custody order that you have final say regarding picking up out of school, dropping out of the school, and education-related decisions. That paperwork then needs to be given to your school and your school district. Something tells me that if you go ahead and she homeschools the kids, this is going to become a fight over child support and parenting time. Not the a-hole. You are looking out for your kids. How do you even know this woman is qualified to teach your kids crap? Work with your lawyer to get some sort of cease and desist on this topic, to where they can't keep bringing it up. The good reason to refuse is your kids are doing well academically and socially where they are, and there is no reason to risk changing that. I would be tempted to ask your lawyer if there is any way you can trigger an evaluation of the new wife's kids in terms of their progress in homeschooling. My guess is they are way behind. I know they are behind in some areas because of her stance on them. I doubt she teaches science of any kind, for example. Next story. Am I the a-hole to sell her shoes since she sold my magic collection? I, 23 male, had a collection of magic, the gathering cards that I kept in my storage locker under my bed. My girlfriend, 22 female, recently took my storage locker to a local card shop and sold my whole collection. The shop owner is shady for agreeing to cut my lock off. I got upset with my girlfriend and asked why she sold them. Her response, "You don't play anymore." Between work, school, and her, I don't have the time for any of my hobbies. I told my girlfriend to get out of my apartment and that her selling my stuff was a perfect reason to break up with her. She started crying and began saying hateful things, which I ignored. I locked myself in the bathroom, waiting for her to finally leave. When she did, I gathered all her shoes, this probably makes me an a-hole, and sold them. She found out and went off on me, even punching me. I told her, well, you never wear them. I asked for the extra key to my apartment because I told her we needed to end things, but she refuses to give it back. Am I the a-hole? Also, how does one get the key back? Now for the top comments before reading the mini update. Not the a-hole. And one invites a locksmith and changes the lock. Do I have to inform the building manager? Only because it's something I find embarrassing. I don't know. I have never rented before and the paperwork I signed doesn't cover access with spare key. Why did you not go the shop that bought the cards and demand them back, as they were stolen from you? If they did not agree, your girlfriend would have to pay them back probably. You could have gone to the police to file charges. This is not a tee-hee, I sold your stuff, now I sold your stuff kind of thing. This is theft. And forget about that key. Have the locks changed. Give your landlord a copy of the new key and you're good. Save the old lock, just in case, and hand it over to the landlord, now or when you move out. I am a stupid kid, I swear. I didn't think about most of this stuff. Great advice from experienced individuals. Nobody really teaches others how to be an adult. I get it. It's not too late to go get your cards though. For all they know, you only just found out. And at any time, you can just walk into any police station and say you have a situation and you would like advice on how to proceed. The fact that you sold her shoes is not the best thing to mention. But I take it the shoes were in your apartment when you took them and not in hers. That counts for something. If your collection was worth something, I'd still try. And that shop is crap for not seeing a problem with cutting off a lock. They had to have known. Normally shops are more careful than that. Change the lock and the passwords for all the streaming services that you pay for. Also, I would highly suggest taking pictures of all of her items that she has in your apartment before she moves them out. She sounds vindictive and may claim that you destroyed some things. I didn't even think about any of that. I'm just gonna stay out of my apartment until my mom shows up. Might have her escort my ex around to grab things. That picture thing is really smart, I'll do that. And the password's tough. Thank you for the solid advice. Now for the mini update. My mom showed up with donuts. We talked to the landlord and he got a good laugh. I didn't tell him everything, just that I had a bad breakup and trusted the wrong person. Told me it happens often. He also flirted with my mom. Good on her, nearly 50 and still getting hit on. My ex is coming by to grab her belongings, and I am giving her the shoe money rounded up. She agreed to give me the collection money. I hope this is the end of it. I really don't think I want to handle anything legal. I'll miss my collection. Guess at the end of the day, I am too lazy to bother. Great advice from everyone though. Thank you. I'm going to be much more careful with my keys and dating life. Last story. Am I the a-hole for having my dad's wife's number blocked so she can't call or text me? I, 19 female, live with my grandparents about 20 minutes from my dad's 39 male house. He lives there with his wife of 18 months, Nessa, 37 female. I met Nessa when I was 16, and the two of us did not get along. My dad tried to make things work between us, but she's not somebody I would ever like, and I will always annoy her by not being into the stuff she's into because she thinks I do like them, and just refuse to spend time with her doing this stuff. We lived together for a few months, but I knew they were getting married and she was sticking around, and I knew I would not tolerate living with her for long. So I decided to move into my grandparents' house when I turned 18. It made my dad sad, but I told him we could still have a relationship. I just wouldn't live there anymore. After I moved out, I blocked Nessa's number. I don't want to hear from her, talk to her, or text her. A few weeks ago, my dad called to tell me Nessa was in the hospital and she had a pretty bad miscarriage. By the time I got there, to be with him, not her, Nessa was taken into surgery, and they had to perform a hysterectomy. When she came to, she was distraught and freaked out on Dad, because it was only when she was miscarrying that she realized I had blocked her. She had been trying to call me. Dad was in a meeting and didn't have his phone, so for 2 hours she was in distress and tried me, but I didn't answer. My dad asked me if I had her blocked, or just didn't answer. I said I blocked her when I moved out. He was sad about it, but he seemed to move on. Nessa called me all kinds of names, and she's demanding I unblock her and make it up to her because it's my fault everything happened, and now she can never have kids. I refuse to do this, and she's constantly mad at my dad because she can't tell me how pissed she is, because she's blocked. Am I the a-hole? And, according to her, you were her only option. Why? Not even 911 or ambulances? She said she panicked, and when she couldn't get through to Dad, she could only think of calling me. And then I wasn't answering, but she knew I couldn't be busy, so she kept trying. So for 2 hours she remained in distress while trying to contact you, but didn't call 911? Good that you are keeping her blocked. Not the a-hole. Sounds like she was already having a miscarriage before she realized you blocked her. Regardless, none of it is your fault. Shame on her for trying to put any blame on you. Sounds like she had some complication with a miscarriage. That's no one's fault. Life can be crappy that way. But situations like this make me wonder if the universe does this on purpose to specific people because they do not deserve to have kids. Yes, she was already mid-miscarriage and was trying to call me because she couldn't get through to Dad. And she said she panicked and couldn't think straight, so she just kept trying me because she knew I couldn't be busy. Are you experienced in dealing with miscarriages? What could you have done other than call an ambulance? Which she could have done herself. Or she could have called your father's office and asked to interrupt his meeting. Doesn't she have family? Neighbors? Not the a-hole. Stick to your boundaries. Your dad's wife could have called emergency services, one of her family members, or her friends when she failed to reach your dad. Common sense would suggest you call emergency services first so they can get you to a hospital as soon as possible. Nessa's pregnancy would have been categorized as a high-risk pregnancy. She is over 35, and from what you wrote, I am guessing this could have been her first pregnancy as well. Your dad should have made sure he was contactable at all times. Nessa is toxic. She wants to blame you for her miscarriage and hysterectomy. She was, and still is, fixated on the idea of mothering you. Her fixation was such that when you did not respond to any of her calls or messages for a year, it did not occur to her that she was blocked. Now that she finds herself unable to have children, her fixation on you will increase. She needs professional help, which is well above all our pay grades. Maintain no contact with Nessa, and you may want to keep your dad on an information diet to ensure Nessa does not harass you.